Alright, we're back. Of course, we're talking FF7. We're talking Ever Crisis. So one of our recent uploads, we talked about Ever Crisis being published to Steam, I think is what it was. And a release date was kind of pending. And we already have the release date. We're a few days late to covering this, but here we are anyways. And it's coming a little bit sooner than I think any of us expected, because it was just very recently published to Steam. And the game is dropping on Steam within the week, December 7th, like less than a week at this point. It's kind of crazy. I guess I don't really know how they do show on Steam or whatever, because I'm not a PC player, but I just assumed because it was just getting published very recently to Steam that maybe it was going to be like a 2024 thing. I might have even said that in that video. I'm not entirely sure, but this is coming out very, very soon. So they dropped this tweet that says, Steam version release date confirmed, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis Steam version available on December 7th, 2023 JST. The release date for the Steam version of Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis has been confirmed for December 7th. Add it to your wish list. Date and time may vary in some regions. One sort of interesting thing from that I just now noticed when reading it is that it says that it's December 7th JST, which is Japan time. So there's maybe a possibility that we'd get it on December 6th here in the West, because like when it's midnight Japan time, when it's rolls over into December 7th, it'd be like, I don't know, like 11 a.m. or like noon my time, and maybe we get that early. I don't entirely know. It does say like times will vary depending on the region and shit. What that's definitely worth mentioning too is that you can transfer data from your mobile version of the game to Steam. I don't know if you can do vice versa. And I want to mention that too, because I believe with the last Ever Crisis video, somebody was kind of asking that in the comments, and they confirmed that like 2 months ago with the Japanese tweet that was confirming the game was coming to Steam. So right here we have the tweet from September that says, we're actively developing a Steam version so that you can enjoy FF7 Ever Crisis on PC. You can also share the data you play on the mobile version with the Steam version, so stay tuned for more information. Just want to cover that for people that are maybe been playing on mobile but waiting for the PC version. Like, you're not going to have to start over fresh. And I think I mentioned this with the video we would have done in September, kind of covering the announcement of the game coming to Steam, that you should maybe make an account on mobile, even if you don't want to necessarily, just so you can kind of play the game a bit, kind of get a head start, kind of get into it a little bit. So you're not like waiting like forever to like for the game to come to PC and then to start at like level 1, start at the very beginning, right? You can even do that now. Even if you're somebody that's waiting on that PC version, it's coming out in a few days. You only got to play it on your mobile phone for like a few days, but you can kind of get ahead, kind of get into the game, get started, kind of figure things out, right? While it's obviously exciting and good news for the people that want the game to come to PC, there is kind of a negative conversation we have to have involving like the Final Fantasy series on mobile, because they're taking down another mobile game. Their Opera Omnia is coming to an end. Weirdly enough, on FF7 Rebirth's release date, I don't really know why that is exactly, but it's like they're shutting down service on February 29th, 2024. Obviously, I want to talk about this just kind of briefly because it's very important when talking about Ever Crisis, is you got to be kind of hesitant with any sort of live service game, any sort of game that has microtransactions, etc., etc. Like, you're kind of beholden to them whenever they might want to shut down the game. Like, if you say you're somebody that spends hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Ever Crisis, a couple years from now or whatever, however long the game's going to last, like, they might shut it down, and then all that money you spent was technically wasted. But obviously at the same time, they got to make money to keep like the servers going and things like that. So there's like a weird middle ground where you have to have people spend money on the game, but at the same time, you got to be a little bit hesitant if you're somebody that doesn't want to spend a lot of money on the game. And it's kind of weird too, because Opera Omnia is not that old. It was like 2017 in Japan, I think 2018 worldwide. And there's other mobile games that are older than that, like Brave Exvius, which is one that I've actually played a lot of, that is older. Like Brave Exvius is like 2015, 2016. And it's still going, but for some reason Opera Omnia is shutting down. I'm not really sure why that is. I'm not somebody that's played Opera Omnia that much. Maybe the people who play that can let us know in the comments or something like that. Let me know. Like Brave Exvius is pretty fun. It's a game I get in and out of. I'll play it for like 2 or 3 months straight, and I'll stop playing it for several months at a time, and then I'll re-download it and play it again. Like, it's a pretty cool little mobile game. So I'm not really, but I've tried Opera Omnia and it just wasn't that appealing to me. Like, I don't know. So I'm not really sure exactly why it's getting shut down. But I'm not really sure why it's getting shut down specifically on Rebirth's release date. That's kind of weird. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, I was going to theorize something, but I just don't really have anything. I will say though, Ever Crisis is probably in a good spot for a while, because it's got a shit ton of downloads. It's won like, mobile gaming awards and things like that for like, I think story stuff or something. I think was seen recently or some shit. So I think the game's good for a while. Plus, it's an FF7 product. I know First Soldier was, but it's a whole different scenario. But given that it's like retelling FF7, the FF7 compilation, but we're also getting some new shit with First Soldier, and people are anticipating the other parts of the compilation. Like, I think we're good for a while on this game. That's pretty much the video. I just want to cover this for you guys. I believe I said with the last Ever Crisis video, when we talked about it being published to Steam, that I'd cover whenever we get an official release date. But I also want to have a bit of discussion about like the live service games and stuff like that. I mean, it's your money. If you want to spend money on like Ever Crisis or any other mobile games that you play, feel free to. But just always remember that at any point, that shit can be shut down, man. Anyways, that's the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. So in the description below. Follow me to dashingdavidbusiness. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought. but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Rogaine, or leave it like Cobain.